Alumni Network welcomes you to the speaker session of Kirori Mal College. Today, joining us, we have a staff coordinator of Kirori Mal College Alumni Network, Dr. Seema Joshi, ma'am. Before we start the session, I would like ma'am to give a welcoming note to the session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Rudransh. Dear all, a very warm good morning. First of all, I would like to welcome our speaker of the session 13th, Mr. Anshul Agarwal, in KMC ALMA Connect event 2021 on building career paths by sparking conversation and connections with alumni. Before we start with the session by a speaker, I would like to provide all of you and our speaker especially an overview of KMC Alumni Network activities till date. I'm delighted to inform all of you that we celebrated our Founders Day in the year 2021 following a hybrid model for the first time. This year, after the formation of Kirori Mal College Alumni Network, during Corona period in the month of January, we thought of having a month-long celebration of our Founders Day instead of one day. And that too, by bringing in one of the important stakeholders of our institution with us, and that is our very own alumni, whom we consider to be our brand ambassadors. We adopted celebrating our young alumni achievers as a theme during the first week of February, given the fact that India is a youthful country, and as an educational institution, we understand very well our institutional and social responsibility. We are shaping young minds by giving them right kind of education and trying to ensure right kind of ambience for learning. We organized panel discussions, speaker sessions, experience sharing sessions through this knowledge sharing platform of the KMC Alumni Network, wherein our young alumni participated and did career guidance, mentoring, and handholding of our current students during the month of February. If the theme celebrating our young alumni achievers was apt for the first week of February, the theme celebrating diversity and inclusivity appeared to be even relevant to us during the second week of February, which marks the setting in of Spring 2. During the following weeks, we celebrated ethical and entrepreneurial spirit of our alumni. We invited 17 alumni speakers from India and abroad, organized 13 virtual sessions, which benefited more than 1,000 participants during the founder month. The feedback indeed was very encouraging and indeed overwhelming. In the month of June, we organized two important events on International Yoga Day. Live yoga sessions on the eve of International Yoga Day, followed by Sahaj Yoga meditation session, which were in perfect alignment with the theme of International Yoga Day 2021, that is, be with yoga, be at home. After the success of its various events organized from February 1st, 2021 onwards, the Kirori Mal College Alumni Network decided to bring for its students a series of live sessions starting from the first week of July 2021 on building career paths by sparking conversation and connections with alumni. One of the objectives of this series is to provide an institutional alumni interface for its students so as to enable them to interact and engage with the finest personalities from diverse fields, including academics, corporates, politics, sports, arts, and so on. With the live sessions held by KMCAT, we have been making an attempt to solve queries and provide guidance to the current students for materializing their dreams. Besides this, we have been trying to ensure the learning continuity during this pandemic time, and we are trying to promote grit and growth mindset during this period of social distancing. KMC Alumni Network is acting as a bridge between the alumni and the current students. This connecting arrangement would have been a distant dream for all of us without the support of our principal madam, Professor Vibha Singh Chauhan. With these words, I extend a very warm welcome to our alumnus, Mr. Anshul Agarwal, and also to the participants for today's events. I would also like to say that our principal madam always look forwards to the events of KMCAT, but today because of scientific advice meeting which is taking place at the same time, it won't be possible for ma'am to join us. But she has conveyed her best wishes not only for the speaker but also for all the participants. Thank you very much, and over to Ash.
Thank you, ma'am. We are always grateful to you for your support and blessings. Having said that, it is indeed my great pleasure to welcome among us CA Anshul Agarwal. Not only it is a moment of happiness and pride for us, but also an opportunity to reflect on our learning. Anshul Agarwal is a professional qualified chartered accountant with more than 10 years of diversified work experience in strategic finance. The focus areas mainly include financial modeling, corporate controllership, MIS automation, strategy and planning, financial planning and analysis, capital restructuring, international taxation, corporate governance, and auditing. He completed BCom honors from Kirori Mal College in 2010 and has also won more than 40 debate group discussions competitions at various levels. He cleared CA in the first attempt with 45 All India rank in 2011. He did his CA articleship at Sanjeev Bhargav and Associates and also served as a senior audit assistant at Ramesh Agarwal and Company. He also worked as a senior finance associate at Infosys Limited for more than 2 years. He worked as a deputy finance manager at Capgemini Consulting, overseeing the financial performance, including pricing and financial performance and analysis for one of the largest business units. He is also a founding member of InHeart Model School, an NGO established with an objective of spreading education to rural areas. Currently, he is working with Microland as a finance manager and has won Microland Excellence Award for 2 consecutive years and rated top performer during annual reviews. It is indeed a pleasure to have you, sir, among us. Over to you, sir.
Thanks a lot, Rudraj, for that heartwarming welcome. And thanks a lot, Seema ma'am, for making me join this session and having such a wonderful audience in front of me. So it would be great to connect and share whatever I can, and in fact learn a thing or two from all of you. Yeah.
You can continue, Anshul.
Yeah. So okay. So if I talk about as Rudransh rightly mentioned, it has been a wonderful years of 10+ years of professional experience post my qualification from Kirori Mal College, and it would not have been possible without the help of this technology, especially in this pandemic world, connecting with all of you. And as ma'am rightly mentioned, the creation of alumni network, something which was long missing in Kirori Mal College. So because of the hard work, I think put in by ma'am, plus the support given by all of you as students to her, I think this has been possible. I would just wish that this alumni network grow by leaps and bounds, because one thing which I have realized over my journey is that networking is quite a key to to any of your, if you are in the field of academics, if you are in the field of sports, or you are in the field of arts or craft. Networking always helps because it brings in different perspective, diverse opinions, and therefore as a holistic individual you also grow and learn in that environment. So I think it's a great initiative, ma'am, and I just wish this network all the very best.
Thank you very much, and thanks for your support also. That you took out time on this, holiday, despite your busy schedule, and at the same time, some health issues which you were passing through. So I'm really thankful to you, Anshu, and we are looking forward to, hear you for the next 40 minutes.
Sure, ma'am. Okay, so I would rather make this would want to make this session a very interactive one. Therefore, I would urge all of you to speak out wherever you want to, or wherever you want me to stop, or wherever you want to ask any question or doubts. I would always want that session to be as interactive as possible, and in fact, I would urge, if possible, for all of you to switch on your video so that we can see each other and much more interactive and live session. I know in this, in the era where we live, it helps, when a person sees his audience and gauges their response and understands their perspective. So I would urge all of you, in case if it's possible for you, to please switch on your videos and speak out wherever you can. Okay, with that note, let me. So, Rudransh, how do you want to take this forward? I mean, would you like to start with some question answer round, or?
No, sir. Actually, you can share your journey and experience with us. Then we can further proceed with
Absolutely.
the questions.
Sure, sure. I'll do that. I'll do that. Thanks a lot.
Thank
Okay,
you, sir.
so this is in fact quite long. So starting back in the year 2007 is when I joined Kirori Mal College. And the 3 years have actually been nothing less than a roller coaster ride. And when I say that, I actually mean it, because um, when I joined KMC, one thing was pretty clear in my mind, that I want to become a chartered accountant. Now, with the ongoing classes plus the articleship, and as and when I started my first year of college, I was someone who came from a small town. So giving you a bit of background about myself, I came from a small town of Prayagraj. So and I have quite a humble beginning, where so in year 2000, actually my father lost his eyes. So after that, it was, the whole burden was actually on my mother to, financially support us and to financially make us in that position where we can go for higher education. And so now I came to Delhi with that dream in mind, that I want to become a chartered accountant. So that was something which was always there at the back of my mind, that yes, I want to be a CA. Given that fact, now in the year 2007, I was actually never I was always an introvert. I always used to speak out only when I am asked to speak. So if someone will ask me a question, then only I'll speak, else I'll not initiate any conversation with someone. So I was never a person who can get into debating, get into group discussions, etc., contrary to what happened by the end of 2010. So this debating thing started when during the first year of my college, when I saw a pamphlet where it mentioned that there is a DebSoc society, KMC DebSoc society. So I went there in, and just to gauge where I stand in front of the other rest of the peers, and I figured out that I failed miserably, because I gave my so there was a topic which was given to me. It was an extempore, and you need to think about the topic for about a minute and then speak for 2 minutes on that topic. So the topic was given to me, and I thought about the topic, and then I started seeing how the other people are faring. And when I started seeing other people, how they are speaking, the way they are presenting, I was absolutely dumbfounded. I thought that no, this is not something which I can do. I can't even go there and speak even for 5 seconds, leave that for 2 minutes. And I decided, I mean, the moment the topic was given to me, I was given a preparation time of 1 minute. I decided, okay, let me just walk down the stairs and come back. So I walked down the stairs, because the DebSoc society used to be just next to the Players Society at the first floor, just above the canteen. I'm not sure if that's how it stands today as well, but that's how the setup used to be. So okay, I went there, and then I decided, okay, it's not my cup of tea, let me leave. After that, there were a couple of competitions during the course of that year, the first year of my college. During the course of first year, there were a couple of competitions. I thought, okay, let me just go there and watch some of the competitions. So I saw people speaking somehow, in one of the points. So there's always an interjection round where you can interject. Basically, when I say interject, basically you can, if suppose someone's speaking in a debating competition, then you can ask a question, and if your question is the best, then you will get the prize money. So prize money was always one factor why, this debating thing used to look so lucrative to me, because I wanted first to financially support my, my education on my own. So that was something which interested me. So I asked that question to the person, and incidentally, I got the first prize there, the best interjector. That first prize was more like a motivation for me to go and enroll again and try again in the DIPSOC society. So I again gave my interview during, I think, the mid of that year. And incidentally, I got selected. However, I was still probably, at the back end of the rest of the crowd. So if suppose if I have to rate against my peers, I used to be at the back. Now, slowly and steadily, I started, participating in competitions. Then the second year started, and all those things were happening. And meanwhile, my CA journey was also continuing, but that I had put little bit at the sidelines, because debating was something which was interesting me so much that I started devoting more time to that. I started going to various colleges, be it SRCC, Khalsa, Kalindi College, or Indraprasth College, uh, Daulat Ram College. So I started going to these colleges. In some competitions, I used to win, some I used to lose. But the golden thing was that I used to like whatever I was doing. So I used to enjoy it thoroughly. The third year was actually a turning point. Third year is the time when Seema ma'am used to be our economics teacher, and she was the economics professor and teaching us macroeconomics. Why I say that that was the turning point, because till the second year, whichever debating competitions I used to participate in, they were not at all, the topics were not at all related to finance or economics. Contrary to what my field was. If I'm doing BCom honors and if I want to become a chartered accountant, I should be knowing more insights into finance. I should be someone who should be knowing more insights into macroeconomics or microeconomics, or what's actually happening around the world. Third year came to be a turning point in that sense, because when I used to attend her classes, and in fact, to be very honest with you, there were certain classes that I had to skip, not because I wanted to skip, but because of the entire schedule. Because I used to try to go to my for my articleship by about 12 or so, 12 or 12:30. So before that, whatever classes I'm able to attend, I used to attend. After that, I used to go there, and some of the times I had to skip because of my debating things. So if suppose there is a competition, one or two competitions, I had to skip that. Now, during the third year, Seema ma'am would also be able to recollect some of it. I used to sit, when that class used to start. In fact, for across all the classes put together from first year till second year, I always used to be a backbencher. I always used to sit at the back. Always used to keep preparing for my debates, and that used to be across abstract topics. And sometimes I used to pay attention to what's been, taught. Third year, the first lecture, when it happened with ma'am, I was actually trying to concentrate on my some of the debating things by sitting at the back. And then something was quite interesting when, so the way ma'am used to teach is she used to give a lot of facts and figures about how the economy is moving, or, what is happening across. And there were a lot of things which she used to give, which was not even related to your academics, but which will help you slowly and steadily, be it your interviews or be it your group discussions or debates. So that interested me, and I started sitting in the first bench. In fact, a lot of my friends used to ask me that what happened, all of a sudden you've started sitting in the first bench, from a back bencher to a front bencher. So I said, okay, Thikel, only for this session I'm trying to do that, because I used and I the moment ma'am used to start, I started scribbling on my notepad. It may look in to someone else who's reading my notebook, it would not he'll not be able to comprehend that at all, because it used to be just a scribble. So once there was a competition, the name, the topic was this house believes that we are all Keynesians. And I had no idea that what should I be speaking on this topic, should I be for or against, and what should be the core construct of my argument. And started looking at some of the notes which ma'am used to give, and started referring that, and all the pieces came, and slowly and steadily I was trying to connect the dots, and the pieces used to make some sense. Now this was my first competition in which the topic was economics, because before that it was, I used to attend either a mathematics society competition or a physics society or a chemistry society, but never a finance, because I used to feel that the topics are something which I don't have a grip on. Now this topic, I went there and I actually went ahead to win the first prize. And the people with whom I was competing, they were all masias of, someone whom I used to admire at that point of time. And so why I'm relating that story to you, because somewhere I feel that certain things which I did probably as an instinct, as a gut feeling at that point of time, helped me a lot. And had those classes not have happened, and this was not just the first competition. After that I went to economic society. In fact, in my debating circle, people used to say, okay, he should go only to economics society debates, because then he comes out with a first prize for Kirori Mal College, else he will always come either with a second or third prize. So that was the kind of impression I got after that session. So this is how the entire journey from first year to third year was happening, where CA was slightly in the sideline. I used to go for my articleship, but that was more for a namesake purpose. Used to attend classes. Some of the classes, honestly speaking, I was not able to attend. You may use your slang saying bunking the classes, but I'm saying technically I was not able to attend for XYZ reasons. And debating was always something which was at the forefront, debating or group discussions, and my entire interest revolved around there. Now, apart from the debating society, there was another society which I was quite closely associated with, which was the placement cell. So I happened to be the Gen Sec of the placement cell, and then in the commerce society, I believe these fests would still be happening. The annual name of the fest was Apples, APPULSE, Apples, and that was the first time it happened. So in the year 2010, the name Apples was coined by us. The name Apples came to be, came to the forefront by, three of us. So basically, me, myself, Utsav, and another of my friend Manoj. The three of us decided that okay, we do have a commerce society, but we don't have any of the fests just like other colleges have. So while I am going for an economic society fest, I am going for a common society fest in SRCC or in Hansraj or in Hindu, then why not in KMC? We should have that fest. And at that point of time, also, I remember clearly that we approached Seema ma'am. We told her about this idea that we want to have this thing, and she motivated, guided us throughout the path, and that's why I'm quite closely connected with Seema ma'am, because of the way she had supported our journey in that at that point of time. So apart from the organization of the fest or taking part in the debate, group discussion competitions, or taking active part in the placement cell of Kirori Mal College as well as Delhi University. So I was also affiliated with DU placement cell. So apart from these three core things, nothing else seemed to have interested me at that point of time of those 3 golden years of my college life. And I don't regret that. I don't regret that, though I might have, if I look back and, might have, done a bit of a tweaking now to the thing of the scheme of things I've done. But I'm still saying I don't regret that, because at the end of the day, when I face any interview, or even till today, if I face any interview, and as and when you go through your career path, some of these things are going to help you, be it your lectures which ma'am is giving or anyone else is giving, or be it some of the discussions which you are initiating with your friend. Be that can be a friendly discussion altogether, but you need to start having or institutionalizing that sense of having a group discussion amongst yourself. It's a pandemic situation. The probably the best time, or best way to make use of the available time, because now you're not wasting any of your time in transportation. You're not, some of the time which used to earlier get spent, on all those activities, now that's not getting spent. So we can always, take a leaf out of some of the things which are happening wrong in the current world. So I'm just saying that, you can probably do that. And ultimately, slowly and steadily, you will see that, the pieces are making sense, and you're actually, that thing is actually helping you down the lane. Now, apart from this 3 years of, from 2007 to 2010, while when I said that, I had kept CA at the, as a backbencher, and at the, the forefront was my group discussions. In the year 2010, when I was when we were preparing for our our BCom final papers, that is the time this realization that, okay, I came with a motto in mind that I want to become a chartered accountant. That then again struck me. So while for, I would say, for 2.5 years, my dedication towards CA was to the minimum. I used to attend my and do my articleship just for the sake of doing. Sometimes go, sometimes not go, and not to take classes that seriously, apart from the economic classes, because I had some other vested interests there, that okay, I am, going and participating in group discussions, and and winning competitions. I started actually during the second part of my third year, started taking studies more seriously. In fact, to sum up, if I have to, give my journey of that last 6 month of my third year, it primarily went into our Delhi University library. So I used to be a hostler. Okay, by the way, Kirori Mal College hostler. So I used to go to DU library from morning. I mean, just after these classes are over, or during the Saturdays and Sundays, I used to try and devote as much time as I can, whatever time I used to get during the breaks of my articleships, etc. Whatever time I used to get, I used to devote entirely there and focus on the rest of the things, such as group discussions, and all those things came as a backbencher during that tenure. And that was the time when when I figured out that in clearing CA, it's not necessary, because half of the things of what we study in our BCom is actually connected to chartered, I mean, CA course. It's just that we probably don't take certain things that seriously in BCom. We think that, okay, I have to go for XYZ tuition. So honestly, I have not attended any of the tuition classes in CA. Not none. When I say, I mean it, none of the classes. I was someone who used to believe in self study, and used to believe that, okay, if I have been given a book, that book has been made for some purpose, and let me just go through it and read, and in case there is a doubt, I can always go and ask my teachers, who are always available. So I started that journey. I started devoting more time in library, and started reading the books, devoting completely myself to studies. And by the end of the third year, I was actually halfway through my CA as well. When I say halfway through my CA, not by way of exams, because I had not even written my PCC. I just cleared my CPT at the time when I came to Kirori Mal College. So I joined Kirori Mal College, cleared my CPT with good numbers, and then for 3 years, no exam at all related to CAs. After that, immediately after passing my third year, I decided that, okay, since I've got some solid understanding when I did my BCom third year, let me attempt my PCC. By God's grace, I was able to clear that. And then I decided, okay, since I've cleared PCC, let me devote my entire 100% of energy into CA final. And that was also the point of time when I started taking my articleship more seriously. So while my official articleship period was about to end, I in fact, joined another CA firm, and decided to devote full time there. So along with my studies which were going on, it was a very hectic period. I agree, it was a very hectic period of about a year, where it was back to back studies, articleship, etc. But eventually everything happened, and here I am in front of you. I am a chartered accountant. So that's about my journey of Kirori Mal College.
Thank you, sir, for having such an informative talk. I'm sure viewers must have learned a lot from this session. All the viewers in the session are requested to kindly list down their questions in the chat box or unmute themselves to make the session more interactive. Till then, there are some questions which we have for you. So, sir, basically this question is from CA aspirants, and how can we make sure that we clear our CA in the first attempt only, or in our earliest attempt?
Okay, so see, I have two opinions there. I think, I mean, this has been my personal experience as well. That I've seen that lot of interviewers focus, and they have their criteria saying that if you are a first attempt CA, if you've cleared your CA in the first attempt, then only appear for the interviews, else don't appear for our interview. And then there are a lot of companies who give you, okay, maximum of 2 attempts, you can, till 2 attempts you can appear for the CA exams. What I would say honestly is, and which I have personally felt for myself during my professional journey, is your dedication. When I say your dedication, I mean, if you are true to the cause of what you want to be, that if you really want to be a CA, then give your 100%. There is nothing like it. See, I maybe when I say this, when I say that, I probably made a mistake that during the first 2 or 2.5 years of my college life, which I thought it is my dream to become a CA. I had kept that at a backbench. Maybe I was because at that point of time, debating or group discussions or debate, I mean, all those things interested me more at that point of time. Therefore, I don't regret my decision. Your goal is to become a chartered accountant. If your goal is to become a CA, then devote your 100%. Give, and then see, ultimately, don't think about the result. Even if you are a person who's cleared CA in the second attempt or third attempt, in the long run of your life, it will not matter. In the long run of your life, it is not going to matter. However, if you are true about your purpose, true about the cause for which you are doing it. My personal cause was quite emotional, and emotional in that aspect, that I had to support my mother, because she was the only at that point of time, she was the only financial earner, because my father had that incident. So I had that emotional connect. So I'm pretty sure that all of you in your own personal journeys will have some emotional quotient. You need to find that emotional quotient, always keep that in front of you, and start referring that. That is one. Second thing is, don't be narcissist. I mean, don't think that you are someone who knows everything, and don't think that you are someone who has done everything in life. Having said that, but always appreciate the achievements that you have done in your life. When I went through that rigor of after 2.5 years of my college life, when I restarted my CA academics, it was quite tough, because I've always already wasted some part of my time, and I wanted to recover that time, and wanted to give exams as soon as possible, so that it technically falls under the first attempt. And I also at the same point of time wanted to be a rank holder. So while those things were at the back of mind, I never took a pressure of that. And I think that was something which my family, I got a good support from my family, from my teachers as well. But there was no pressure that, you have to perform and you have to be a grader. You do the way, or pace yourself the way you want to be. But at the same point of time, always see the achievements that you have done. It is not necessary that your achievements will sync up with someone else's achievement. If I used to love debating, it's not necessary that you will have a knack for it, or you also love that, or you have a passion for it. You may have a passion for sports. If you always think that, okay, if you could have done this better, why can't you do CA? It's not rocket science after all. It all needs your dedication, and if you're true to that cause, you will achieve it.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an insightful answer. I'm sure this must have resolved the query of students who were confused about how to go about things. So, sir, here's my another question for you. What are the essential financial skills that everyone must have these days?
Okay, so see, the first, I mean, the basic financial skill that you need to have is your own financial management. If you can't manage your own finances, then you cannot manage the finance of a company, of an organization. What I mean is, today, right now, all of you would be between the age group of say 18 to 21 or 17 to 22. This is the right time that you take a notebook, or now in the digital age, take a note. I mean, take your cell phones, start noting down that these are my daily expenses. This is what I incur. These are the heads, or these are the areas where I incur. So when you start grouping things, that is when you start analyzing your own expenses, that is the time, that is the first step of financial analysis. In today's world, there is a huge demand for people who can do financial analysis of the company. That is, who can analyze the finances and give insightful answers to how you can mitigate some of your expenses, or how you can lower your expenses or increase your profitability. You can only do that if you know about the fundamentals of finance. You can only do that if you start tracking your own personal expense. Right now you may not be having, I mean, most of you, I believe, 90 to 95% of you would not be having your own your own income. However, slowly and steadily you will have that. So in your PNL right now, you have the expense lines. Categorize those expense lines, make your own PNL. In that PNL, your income may be zero, but at least you will have something. And in your balance sheet side, obviously keep your parents as your as the shareholders fund. I'm just saying as a way of saying, but ideally speaking, uh, if you that is the first thing. I mean, start analyzing your own finance. Second is, don't fall into the lure of stock market. Stock market is not only the way to increase your financial knowledge. The second good way of increasing your financial knowledge is to read a lot. And when I say read a lot, that's not just limited to reading economic times. That also mean reading some of the economic surveys. I think ma'am can throw more better light on that. But what I have realized is that when you start reading some of the economic surveys, when you start actually analyzing the government's decisions. You may not have a political mindset, and it's not even necessary to have a political mindset. You may not be supporting BJP or Congress or XYZ party. It's not necessary. What you need to do is just look at the policy which the government has introduced and start analyzing the pros and cons. Have a mind map. When you start doing that, you are one, better prepared in any of the other interviews that you may be facing. And second, you may also get an analytical mindset. You may be a shy person where you may not like to speak publicly, or you may not be an open person. But the best way, and this is something which which my sister actually pushed a lot on me. She always used to put a mirror in front of me. She used to say, only see this mirror, look at this mirror and start speaking. Just close the door, start speaking. And when you do that, then you are better prepared. You are better prepared for any interview. Then when you are looking at the interview, you will always visualize that, okay, this is a mirror which is which is in front of me, and I just need to speak out in front of that mirror. So just to reciprocate what I said, first thing is, do the financial analysis for your own personal finances. That may include only your expenses. Second is, read a lot. And reading a lot would include reading economic times, reading some of the journals, reading the economic policies, reading the budget. Just reading the entire budget will give you a lot of perspective. Don't fall into the trap of share market, or don't think that analyzing the shares, no one knows no one knows a lot about what's going to happen. In fact, the best of the investors may not know. The best of the gurus may not know how the share market is going to, will it fall down or go up. It is all driven by market sentiments. Therefore, don't be guided by that. Always stick to your basics. And these are the basics. And once you build those fundamentals, you will be good to go.
Thank you so much, sir. I mean, that was such a creative answer. So, sir, here's my another question for you. You have been member of various societies during college time. So, how
Hmm.
were you able to manage your time, like doing college studies, the articleship, preparation, societies, competitions, and
Yeah,
lot
I
of things
part
at
of
the same time?
during my discussions. Yeah. So I partly covered that during my discussion. So during my during my initial stint in KMC, I was actually sidelining the CA the CA study part. I was not actually actively studying for CA, or I was not actively studying even for my BCom. All I was doing is I was trying to keep I was trying to I was my whole agenda was that to win as many competitions so that I earn a lot. That was my whole agenda at that point of time. However, however, maybe I would say during after 2.5 years, when I started concentrating on my on my CA journey a bit, or concentrating that the CA is the thing for which I started my my this journey in KMC. That is the time when I realized that if you time yourself properly, and I've been a early a morning person since then. I have always maintained a routine of waking up, be it 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I've maintained that even till today. So I've been a morning person. I always list down my priorities, that these are the 5 or 10 things that I need to do in that day, and it's not going to come. I mean, it doesn't come naturally. It is very tough during the student life, because the student life is full of unpredictability. Tomorrow a friend of you will call you for tea or snacks, and you may go there. Or tomorrow you may be going out or hanging out with your friends for a movie. All that is perfectly fine, but prioritize that and list down those activities. So I have so to give you a nutshell answer, always have a notebook or notepad in front of you, and say, okay, these are the 10 things that I'm going to do, I'm going to plan. You may fail n number of times, but eventually you will succeed in meeting to your time. If you time yourself properly, you will definitely be able to do X number of activities. Just think about the Prime Minister of India. He would have hundreds of things on his on his head. So maybe me and you are not doing even maybe 1/10 of what a person of that stature may be doing.
Yes, sir. We will definitely work on that, and thank you so much. So we have a question in the chat box. So it's from Akul. Since you
Okay.
have been a part of various organizations, so what, according to you, corporates are looking within finance aspirants like us?
Okay, two things. One is your One is definitely your aptitude, but more than aptitude, even what I look for any finance professional, if I am interviewing a finance guy, what I always look is the attitude. If you don't have the right attitude, then you will never make in any professional journey. You may have been a rank holder in CA, you may have done your MBA from the top-notch institution, and in the beginning you may actually survive, and in the beginning you may actually do well because of your academics. However, in the long run, your growth will only be determined if your attitude towards the work given is right. See, even during this my Akul, so even in my professional journey, I have never been given the best. I mean, during the start of my work, I have done probably something which I always thought, oh, this is something which an article should be doing, or something which a BCom grad should be doing. Why is a chartered accountant given that work? I may have thought about it. However, the best way to deal with certain situations is that give your 100% to that. See, if you've been given an opportunity of that, is the best thing. If you, for example, Rudransh, you are doing this interview now. So it may be a small thing, like an you're coordinating a session. However, if you are giving your best, it will pay you slowly and steadily in the long run at some other point of time. It's not necessary that you will get the result tomorrow. No, that's not how it will work. So for what corporates would be looking for is your attitude towards the work. That is the key. And then absolutely, you need to have the right aptitude too. Just with the right attitude, maybe you may go well, you may start learning a lot of things, start acquiring a lot of knowledge. However, you need to have the basic aptitude too. I hope, Akul, I answered your question. In case there is anything else, you can definitely
Yes,
ask me.
sir. Yes, sir, completely. So one question I had, is something different. You have been working at fintech, so what is the future at the same, and how do you see yourself?
Okay, so see, fintech is a growing field, and fintech thing has grown maybe about 10 times in the last maybe 5 years. However, it is going to grow 100 times in the coming maybe 10 years. What me and you being a professional, you being a budding professional, me being a current professional, what me and you can do is to learn about this world, to learn more about automation, to learn. So today finance is not just restricted about bookkeeping. You're not expected to to maintain the finances of an organization by doing a debit and a credit. That any odd person can also do. How are you going to differentiate yourself from the rest of the market? You need to do a lot of automation. You need to learn a lot of skills, and that's where Excel or some of the basic financial tools comes into picture. Excel is the most basic financial tool, but it's one of the most advanced and one of the most one of the most unexplored version in finances. So if you get a good grip, in our times, having a laptop was more like a luxury. Today, it's more like a necessity that, most of you would be having your own laptops, or, most of you would have your, own computers, etc., or the access to a computer would definitely be widened. Plus, the access to, knowledge on the internet is widened. Therefore, just keep up with those skills. Start acquiring new skills as and when you go in your journey. And that's not just restricted to your finance, that also restricted and above finance, that how you can automate some of the routine tasks. So have your own personal thing, try to automate that. Can you automate some of the things? Can you automate some of the routine tasks? Once you start applying your mind, and that's the way the world is going to be in 10 years from now, that you will only be valued if you know automation plus the basic financial skills.
Yes, sir. So one last thing, I am planning to make a career in the finance domain itself. So what soft skills and hard skills should I develop, especially during this
Sorry,
lockdown period?
sorry, come again. Akul, I missed the first part.
Since I'm planning to make my future in the finance domain itself,
Yeah.
so what skills should I develop during this lockdown period specifically? Because obviously college life has been less burdened. So
Hmm.
what skills should I develop so that it could help me in future, both in terms of hard skills and soft skills?
See, in terms of soft skills, so there is no brainer. You need to start engaging a lot with people, especially during pandemic times when we don't see people, face to face. And that's the reason why I said in the beginning that it would always be better when you are face to face, or when you switch on your video. Even when you're talking to a friend, try to switch on your video and start talking to that person, so that you develop that soft skills of speaking. So if you're speaking to yourself also in front of the mirror, try to develop that, and that's how it's going to happen slowly and steadily. It will never be that it's going to happen overnight. That is one. Second is your presentation skills. Now, in the finance domain, when you get to the finance domain during the intermediary of your level, you will be expected, or you will be expected to know some of the hard skills, or such as Excel related, or you would be expected to know some of the softwares, or do have some hands-on on, say, Oracle or SAP. Those are the typical ERPs which we have in the professional world. Those will be the expectation from you. As and when you go, those expectations would come down, and the expectation would be that how can you present before, say, the board of directors, or how can you present yourself, say, before the CFO? How can you present yourself? And when I say present yourself, I mean a proper presentation. So work on that PPT skills. See, there are hundreds of tutorials available on YouTube as well, so that you can improve your PowerPoint presentation, how to build a good PowerPoint presentation. Second is how you can improve your Excel skills. So always the one golden rule in any of the PPT is have has as little as content as possible. Even if you have two words written on a PPT, it's perfectly fine till the time you are convinced about it and you are able to communicate that thought. Because when you're presenting a PPT, You don't want a person to read out from the PPT. You expect the person to be facing you, and that person looks at you because you are the person who's speaking. A PPT should not be much more powerful than you, right? You should be more powerful because a company is not hiring a PPT, a company is hiring you. So build on that, build on your Excel skills, build on the conversational or communication skills.
Okay,
Right, sir.
so
That's just one last thing.
how?
Sir, finance modeling has been becoming very common these days. So, is it something that I should develop during this time itself, or it's too early to develop?
No, no, absolutely. No, absolutely not. In fact, when I spoke about financial analysis is fail model without financial modeling. And when we talk about financial modeling, it's not some rocket science. I'm not talking about, dealing with some alpha, beta, or sigma. We are dealing with simple numbers. That simple number, how can I make different case scenarios? For example, today, say Akul is spending 100 rupees in daily commutation. Today, Akul is spending, say, 50 rupees in canteen. Today, Akul is spending, say, 200 rupees in movies. Tomorrow, what is his outlook? What is your forecast about your spending? When you build that forecast, say for a 10-day period, that is nothing but a financial forecast. That is nothing but a financial modeling. Once you build that financial model, then you can build a financial model for the company also. So building a financial model does not mean that you need to know everything. Then only you can build. No, whatever you know, you can build that. To be very realistic, now at that point of time we never used to be very this thing about Excel and all. While now laptops and computers are more easily and more readily available. At that point of time, I used to maintain a always used to keep I used to keep five things on my always whenever I'm walking or going out. One used to be my wallet, second used to be my pen, third used to be my small notepad, and that small notepad used to have written either dusu or something, ABVP or something, because they used to hand out those in the college during the election time. So I always used to keep those small notepads at the back of my pocket. And whenever I used to get some thought, I used to write it down. It used to sound very crazy to you and unrealistic to you, but that was the reality. And when I used to come back, suppose if I have participated in 20 or 30 debates, I used to make a note of all of those and used to say, okay, what was the good aspect about it? What was the bad aspect? What did I do right or wrong? So this is a qualitative modeling. This is not a financial modeling, a qualitative modeling. What started with a qualitative modeling eventually went down to me becoming a financial modeler for an organization. For becoming a financial modeler, first you need to, develop that qualitative modeling as well. So do that in your real life. You may eat five chapati today. Just forecast how many chapatis can you eat tomorrow. Make a timetable. Do all those things. It helps.
Right. Thank you, sir. I'm done.
Okay, so here's the last question from our side. So how can we increase our networking as all the activities are being conducted in the online mode only? So how can we make it possible?
How can you increase your productivity?
Networking, sorry.
Network, yeah, okay. This is definitely one area where I think I have never made the most of it during my earlier days. And when I say that, I mean it because if I reflect on my Delhi university days, I used to keep on running from one college to another, completing the debates, joining the classes. Then I used to go for namesake for I used to go for articleship, etc. I always used to keep on running and never used was spending much time talking to people, understanding their thought process, or talking to my seniors, taking some knowledge from them, or then eventually building connections, or having a lifelong connection with them. Over the past 3 or 4 years, I've realized that when you go up the ladder, as and when you go up your corporate ladder, when you've done say 10 or 15 years of work experience, you will never get an interview call till the time you have good networking. You will never get Naukri, the likes of Naukri, etc., will not work work out in the long run when you are pitching yourself for a CFO of an organization. A CFO, you will never find a job for a CFO on Naukri.com. A CFO is always hired basis trust value, because you are not looking for the aptitude. Obviously, a person with 25 years of professional experience in the finance domain will have the right aptitude. He has done that work. He has the aptitude. But does he has the right attitude? And to have a person at a VP level or at a CFO position, you need a person of the right aptitude, therefore, or of the right attitude. Therefore, you need to know the person personally. If I know that, okay, I know Akul very well, that okay, Akul is a very bright student. He is, he has done excellent in his 10 years or 15 years of professional life. He's been so dynamic. He's done so many of financial modeling, etc. Then even if even if the role is not beset, I mean, even if the role is something which he cannot do practically because the role requires, say, 25 years of work experience, I may still pitch for him. Why? Because I know him personally, and I know that even if he has, say, 15 years of experience, he can still pull it off. So therefore, networking is very important. And to develop that networking, now you have the social platforms. There's so many social platforms available. You have LinkedIn, you have, Facebook. At that point of time, there used to be Orkut, no longer available. But so all those social platforms are there. Try to connect with the people. Don't feel odd that, okay, what if I try to initiate a conversation and the person say doesn't respond. That is our uh, that is always a fear, that what if the person doesn't respond. That's okay. You're just trying your way. I mean, you're just trying your best, right? You're just trying to connect to the person. The person doesn't want to connect with you. That's his problem, right? Eventually you are trying. So just try out. It's not necessary that you may get the result from everyone would want to connect with you, but that's okay. Ultimately you wanted to connect, correct?
Yes, sir.
So reaching out is the essential concept. It's a blockage in our mind. Today, there is no dearth of platforms. You have social media platforms and many platforms available. And always appreciate the likes and interest of the person with whom you are speaking. So, for example, suppose I'm just taking a name from here. Suppose Devesh. If I'm speaking to Devesh and Devesh tells me that, Anshul, I remember that conversation with you, and I believe you graduated from Kirori Mal College. You did a lot of group discussions, debates. I'll instantly connect with him. Why? Because this is something which interested me. Debating, group discussions interested me, and he's spoken about that. It connected with me. Similarly, some other person may be a coffee lover, some other person may be an art lover. Try to understand what the other person with whom you're trying to connect with also likes. That helps.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for such an informative answer. I'm sure this will definitely work out for all of us. So here we are coming towards the end of the session. I would like to thank you all again on behalf of our whole team. You have really inspired us a lot, and thank you so much for enriching us with your experience and wisdom. I would also like to thank Seema Joshi ma'am for her constant effort and support throughout these sessions. Last but not the least, I would like to thank our viewers for being with us today. And with that, we conclude today's talk. Thank you for joining, everyone.
Thanks a lot, Rudransh, and thanks a lot, Seema ma'am, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. It has always been heartening, and in fact, I was actually under a deluge of emotion when I was trying to recollect my college days about 10 years back, and the wonderful memories, in that class. So it is actually a blessing to have been here, honestly.
Thank you so much, Anshul. You took out time for us. I'm really grateful to you that despite your busy schedule, you made it. So we would like to have
Sure, ma'am.
sessions in the times to come. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, absolutely, ma'am.
And I will keep you updated about our KMC alumni network.
Absolutely. And
Okay.
thanks a lot, Rudransh. It was a wonderful hosting session by you. Keep up the good work. Always be motivated and keep on doing whatever you're doing. You're doing good.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Transh. And thanks to all the participants. Bye bye.
Thanks a lot for everyone joining. Bye.
Bye bye.